preteens and teens are engaging in this extremely dangerous activity where they basically cut off airflow for a thrill.
Parents beware. Tonight, questions about the suicides of two local 11-year-olds and whether they could be connected to a deadly game. How to protect your children.
I hope they hang him.
Shocking case unfolding here in Ohio. Police believe 4 women were taken against their will. 3 are dead. The 4th got away. What we are learning about the crime tonight.
And a woman, this woman you see here, in custody tonight. Sheriff's deputies say she attacked an 84-year-old priest with a hammer.
From WTVG Toledo, this is 13 ABC Action News with Diane Larson and Lee Conklin.
And we begin here at 6 with a case grabbing headlines around the world tonight, unfolding right here in Ohio.
It involves abduction and murder. 13
ABC's Sean Haggerty following this developing story. He joins us live. Sean?
Yeah, 3 women are dead and another has been rescued by a man who police say was holding her, and tonight he is in custody. This case is centered around north central Ohio. We want to tell you where that's happening right now. It's happening in Ashland and Mansfield. That's about 90 miles southeast of Toledo. 2 bodies have been found in Ashland. A 3rd one was found in Mansfield. Now, one of the victims is from our region. We do know that at this point. 40-year-old Stacy Stanley of Greenwich, that's in Huron County. She was reported missing last week. The man police have in custody right now, that is this man, Sean Great. He's 40 years old. He's from Ashland. He's only charged at this point with abduction, but police say he is talking. Now, this case began to unfold Monday night. That's when a 911 call came from a woman saying she was being held against her will at a home in Ashland. Police got there, freed her, arrested Great, and then found the bodies of 2 other women. But it didn't end there. Officers say Great told them about another body, this time in Mansfield. That woman's body was found there where Great allegedly told police it would be. One of the dead women found in Ashland was Stacy Stanley of Greenwich. She had not been heard from since last Thursday when she called her son to say she had a flat tire.
I mean, my last conversation with her was about a tire. I mean, I'll never get to see my mom again, and I can't ever take that back.
Great currently locked up in the Ashland County Jail. More charges are expected. Police say he was homeless and moved from place to place. Right now, state investigators say they are still going through the home where he was in Ashland. People who know him simply say he is the quiet type. Lee and Diane.
All right, Sean, thanks. A disturbing case out of Putnam County tonight where we've gotten word of an attack on a Catholic priest. Sheriff's deputies tell us this happened in the town of Cloverdale, west of Ottawa. That's where 85-year-old Father Herman Scherger returned home last week to find an unfamiliar car parked in his driveway. He says when he got out of the car, a woman attacked him with a hammer, hitting him in the head several times before he could get the hammer away from her. Father Scherger's recovering tonight. And the Putnam County Sheriff's Office has the woman in custody tonight, 65-year-old Frances Wilhelm of Napoleon. She faces a felonious assault charge, bond set at $250,000. So far, investigators have not released a motive.
And a message tonight to all parents. Listen up. Kids strangling themselves to get high. And studies show 75% of children between the ages of 9 and 16 know how this game is played.
An 11-year-old boy from South Carolina died playing this game, and now some wonder if 2 recent local preteen suicides are tied to it. 13 ABC's Christian Brown dives deeper into these deadly challenges and what parents need to look out for. Christian.
Well, Diane, we may never know what was behind 2 recent suicides involving 2 Whittier elementary students. They were both honor students. They both were described as happy children, and school administrators say they showed no sign of depression. But there is some speculation that the choking game may have been a factor in their untimely deaths. Whether this is the case or not, parents need to pay attention. Not everyone has heard about the choking challenge that's making its rounds on social media. Have you ever heard of the choking challenge?
Not at all.
No. But many parents are paying attention.
It's alarming to hear about it.
Agnieszka McPeak is an assistant professor of law at the University of Toledo.
So the choking game is an unfortunate trend where preteens and teens are engaging in this extremely dangerous activity where they basically cut off airflow for a thrill.
There are thousands of videos on YouTube. Some of the challenges are harmless, others can be deadly.
Like the ice bucket challenge. Well, teens and preteens have challenges that might be eating some gross food or even something like the choking game. And that is one platform where it sort of fuels itself, where students will, or teens and preteens will take videos of this activity and then challenge other people to do the same thing.
Snapchat seems like a harmless and fun app. You can enjoy fun filters like this one, sharing pictures, videos, and messaging. But after a short time, it all disappears.
The problem with it, though, is it also creates this sort of private bubble where sometimes inappropriate activity is even more common. And that's another way kids might be challenging each other and sending videos of inappropriate things like sexting, or it could even be something like the choking game.
Commonsense.org is a nonprofit site that can help parents wrap their brains around the dangers of social media. It has videos about guidelines and safe modes to help parents stay in the loop and control the content their child can see. 19-year-old Haley Bruck says her mom still monitors her social media.
My mom always monitored my social media of my mom follows me on Twitter, my mom follows me on Instagram, my mom's on Facebook, so she knows what's going on in my life and what's going on in my friend's life.
And this dad believes in restrictions.
Steve Jobs didn't let his kids play with devices at a young age until they're up to a certain age. I think there's something about that. I think monitoring that, but also allowing kids to be kids and to be out doing things, but also having limited time on social media, I think is okay, but I think it shouldn't be their whole life.
No matter the parenting style, McPeak urges everyone to pay attention. And we can't emphasize that enough, that you have to pay attention. We'll have a link for commonsense.org on 13abc.com. Again, it's a nonprofit website that can help parents navigate the world of social media. It's ever-changing. It will help you put safe modes on some of the social media platforms your child may be using.
Now, as parents, we know that our kids are way more advanced and sophisticated when it comes to this sort of thing. So what can we do?
Absolutely, and McPeak spoke about that. We'll never be ahead, but we can get on it, right? So don't be afraid to shoulder surf, that's what she said, to see what your kids are doing. Maybe even have rules where they can only access social media in open spaces so you can shoulder surf. But local experts say guidelines and communication are key.
Okay, good information. Christian, thanks much. A pair of Findlay High School students could face criminal charges after posting a photo to social media that is showing them holding plastic guns and a sign that read, "I hate everyone, you hate everyone, let's shoot up the school at homecoming." Now, we've chosen not to show you the photo. Both of the students involved are freshmen. In a statement released today, school leaders say it's a prank gone bad. There is no threat. In fact, Findlay schools say the girls are part of a social media movement called I Hate Everyone that encourages individuals who feel alone to join together for social activities. Part of that release reads, it's a way of asking someone to the homecoming dance. Unfortunately, these two students took that message to a completely different level that is completely inappropriate. Police are still investigating.
And now on to a story involving two separate incidents and one possible connection. We're talking about a suspicious fire this morning on Nebraska Avenue and a man arrested for a shocking crime, the shooting death of a Toledo father in front of 6 children. Fire raced through the home in the 1000 block of Nebraska. Nobody inside at the time. No one hurt here, but the person who lived in that house was the girlfriend of DeMarcus Lawhorn. He's the man charged with killing 24-year-old George Smith in a car last week at a Toledo 7-Eleven while there were 6 children in the car. Now, the fire is suspicious.
People know I'm his girlfriend. People know we sit outside. I feel like it's something connected to that 7-Eleven.
And while police investigate that fire, Lawhorn was in court today facing a charge of aggravated murder. His family was there, and so was 13 ABC's Tony Geftis.
And the only thing I'm asking is for the shooter to turn himself the in.
An emotional call from the mother of DeMarcus Lawhorn, both outside court and in. Lawhorn is being held on a $1 million bond in the death of George Smith, who was 24. Friday, Toledo police say Smith was in a car at the 7-Eleven at the corner of Hawley and Western when he was shot. He later died at the hospital. Court documents show the shooting was caught on video and that police say Lawhorn pulled the trigger.
He is innocent. I don't care what nobody say. He innocent.
Today, outside Toledo Municipal Court, Lawhorn's family members told 13 ABC they've got the wrong guy.
My son got out to fight, not to shoot. Somebody, the one who shot him, need to turn his in, or they need to get out there and look for him. Simple as that.
Outside of this 7-Eleven, there's evidence of a recent memorial. It's further indication emotions are running high on both sides of this, for the man who lost his life and for the man accused of taking it.
Whoever did it, better turn themselves in or I'm coming to look for you. I just turned into the feds.
Lawhorn, who's 25, now faces a charge of aggravated premeditated murder, leaving a courtroom with people talking and his mother calling for other suspects to come forward.
Turn yourself in.
In Toledo, Tony Geftis, 13 ABC Action News.
In fact, Toledo police say they are now looking for 2 additional men, Alexander Williams, who's 31, and Devontae Nicholson, who's 20. They're both wanted in connection with the shooting death of George Smith. Both are facing charges of aggravated murder.
Housing inmates in jails outside the county is costing Hancock County more than it anticipated. The Findlay Courier reports $95,000 has been spent so far. That is double what was expected. Typically, Hancock County sends 5 to 8 prisoners to the Putnam County Jail. Some county commissioners say it's time for Hancock County to look at adding space to its own jail. No bloom means a big boom.
We're talking about algae, or the lack of it, and the effect it's having on some area businesses.
Plus, need a job? We know who's hiring and how you can apply. There's a hint.